Welcome guys, and this is a big one. Blizzard has released tier sets and we're going to be looking at every single healer one. We're going to be looking at some field crafting, but guys, before we're gonna do any of this, pinch of salt. This is the first initial release of the tier sets. A lot of them are going to change. Don't look at the numbers, the percentage increases, because those tend to be tuned like quite often. Look at the intention of the tier set, because sometimes they don't really change from the initial version. But guys, I am so tired because I stayed up the whole night or trying to do this video. So if you like this video, like and subscribe so I can go to bed. Let's go and get started with the tier set that I feel is looking to be really powerful, and there's probably going to be some tuning, and that is Holy Paladin. So this is the Holy Paladin initial, I have to say it, initial tier set. So let's read it. 2 set. Casting Wall of Glory causes your next Light of Dawn to heal for 50% more. Cast twice. Cannot occur more often than once per 30 seconds. Now, first of all, straight away, you can notice that Wall of Glory. If you're playing Vent tier, Holy Paladin in raid situations, and you're running like Light of the Marad's Dying Breath build, you're kind of really opposed to casting Wall of Glory. But straight away, 2 set, okay, it's looking like you're going to have more AoE healing that is procced from single target healing, which is what a lot of Holy Paladins wanted, especially in mythical situations. Let's look at 4 set. Each target hit by Light of Dawn. Now, this is a big differentiator factor that I want you to leave a comment below. I'm assuming that's Light of Dawn from the 2 set, because each target hit by Light of Dawn has a 100% chance to reduce the remaining cooldown of Avenging Wrath or Wings by 2 seconds. So you cast Wall of Glory, you issue 2 Light of Dawns that are way stronger, and those Light of Dawns are going to, if they hit everyone, are going to provide an insane amount of cooldown reduction to Avenging Wrath. And if the 4 set bonus means every Light of Dawn, there's no way. This just seems, again, we cannot really test this, but even if it does only mean the Light of Dawn from the 2 set, we're looking at some insane AoE healing followed by insane cooldown reduction, which is going to do pretty well. But what about the synergy with Necrolord? Let's go check it out. So this is my Necrolord Holy Paladin. There's a lot of things I still don't know how this legendary is going to work, because it is somewhat similar to your Vanquisher's Hammer. So for the people who are familiar or not familiar with Necrolord, throws a hammer at your target, dealing a specific amount of damage and empowering your next Word of Glory to automatically trigger Light of Dawn with 25% increased effectiveness. Now, so if you're running a Necrolord, you use your Vanquisher's Hammer, then you get 3 Holy Power in order to cast your Word of Glory. You cast your Word of Glory, and this is automatically triggering Light of Dawn. Now, the 2 set bonus specifically says, after using Word of Glory, your next Light of Dawn is going to be increased. So, how is there going to be a synergy with this? Like, for example, is there going to be a certain buff that you cast your Word of Glory, and then in the next couple of seconds, your next Light of Dawn is going to be really strong? Maybe that 2 set bonus is going to be directly triggered by Vanquisher's Hammer, Word of Glory, Light of Dawn, and then you proc the 2 other Light of Dawns, and then you get 3 Light of Dawns that are buffed indifferently based on your 2 set bonus and your Vanquisher's Hammer. Or maybe it's not going to trigger. Either way, there's definitely similarities with Vanquisher's Hammer. There's definitely similarities with the 2 set bonus. How are they going to work? Are they going to synergize? We have to wait, we have to test, but definitely a lot of things to consider here, especially if you're looking at Vanquisher's Hammer. There's other possibilities of other legendaries that could be pretty interesting. If you're looking at things like Shadowbreaker, Dawn of Sun, maybe you want to have an easier way of hitting those Light of Dawn members, or hitting members with your Light of Dawn. So definitely a lot of different ways of looking at Holy Paladin tier sets. It's looking really interesting in terms of making Light of Dawn really powerful, reducing your wings. Again, pretty excited about Holy Paladin, but I really need to test that a bit more. So now let's go to Resto Shaman, and after looking at the tier set bonus for Resto Shaman, I'm somewhat disappointed, mainly because of the 4 set bonus, and we'll talk about why. So let's look at the 2 set bonus at this given instance. Chain Heal's critical hit chance is increased by 30% on all targets it hits when cast on a target affected by Riptide. So all of a sudden you'll want to cast Chain Heal on targets that have Riptide, and you're kind of pushed into this whole Chain Heal era of Nihilota. If you played in BFA, you remember that a lot of the chain healing, or a lot of the Resto Shaman rotation, was about chain healing with High Tide Talent. High Tide Talent got nerfed, now everyone's running Wellsprings. So this now, again, we're not looking at the 30% chance because that can change, but you'll be more prone to casting Chain Heal, which again, if you're doing Mythic Plus situations or Mythic Plus scenarios right now or raid scenarios, you can probably get away without casting any Chain Heal. Don't get me wrong, Chain Heal is a good ability if you know it's going to hit a lot of targets, if you know you're not running out of mana, because Resto Shaman has probably one of the best mana efficiency in the game when not using Chain Heal. You can still tie in Chain Heal into your rotation, but if you're spamming Chain Heal at this day of age in World of Warcraft, you're gonna have mana issues. So I don't think this is gonna, again, we'll have to see how strong this is going to be, but going back to Chain Heal spamming, the mana is a huge constraint. And now the 4-set bonus, Chain Heal critical hits, reduce the remaining cooldown of Spirit Link Totem by 2 seconds. And I heard a lot of people talking about the positives and negatives of this. My gut reaction, absolutely hate this 4-set with, it's just so bad, making a random kind of random cooldown reduction on an ability that usually, like in raid situations, your raid leader is probably going to tell you, use a Spirit Link in 3 minutes. Like, use it at this given point, and they're going to assume you're going to have a 3-minute cooldown. Is possibly going to reduce the cooldown, let's say, hypothetically, to 2 minutes, if you spam enough Chain Heal. Now, you're at the mercy of your Chain Heal crits. You might not get the cooldown reduction that you need, and you might not have Spirit Link at that given point, and maybe the raid is gonna wipe. So then your raid leader is gonna be like, okay, you didn't get your Spirit Link at 2 minutes, I'm just gonna sign it 3 minutes later down the fight. And this is why I feel this 4-set bonus is really bad. Takes away the hype of playing Resto Shaman for me in 9.2, because I don't want to have a raid cooldown that is very important, life-saving almost, to have a random cooldown reduction associated with it. I feel like the person who made this set, are they even playing Resto Shaman at this given point? Again, I'm going really hard on it because I feel there's so many better ways of adding a 4-set bonus that is not going to be random. Again, let's look at Resto Shaman. So my Resto Shaman right now, I'm looking at the 2-set bonus and the 4-set bonus. I'm relatively okay with the 2-set bonus. We'll see if it's going to bring back things like High Tide, that we're going to go back to Chain Heal spamming. Honestly, the Restoration Shaman, again, when I say Chain Heal spamming, you can't really do that without running out of mana. So it is one of those things where you're going to, I don't mind making good decisions or right decisions when to use chain heal or when not to use it. So especially with the fact that you're going to be picking on targets that are going to have Riptide on them. So there is going to be a lot of synergy. There's a decent amount of synergy with a lot of Covenant abilities that are going to provide more Riptides. The more Riptides you have in the raid, the more targets you can hit with your Chain Heal. The more targets you can hit with your Chain Heal, the more healing you're going to have. If you look at Ventia Covenant specific legendary, you can imagine casting your Chain Harvest on everyone in the raid. It's gonna hit 5 friendly targets, it's gonna cast Riptide on them, and then just going at it with Chain Heal spam with an insane crit chance. So this could be like a crazy burst kind of potential synergy, but again, it's too early to say, and I'm only talking about the 2-set bonus because I really think the 4-set bonus could be improved a lot more. We'll have to see what kind of synergy is gonna come out with it. In terms of Mythic Plus, maybe, or it would be interesting to cast Chain Heal a bit more, but at the same time, if you can't hit a lot of targets, we'll see how efficient it's going to be when tier crafting is going to be out. Again, 4-set, I really hope something is going to change, and let me know how you feel about this. So now let's go to Resto Druid and we'll look at the 2-set and 4-set bonus. They seem to be going the Swiftmend route, and the 2-set bonus Swiftmend heals an additional amount for each periodic healing effect on the target. Straight away, the second you read this, you're thinking Verdant Infusion. Verdant Infusion and this crazy synergy straight away. And I thought about this for a little while. And I feel like if your Resto Druid is already using Verdant Infusion, you probably don't need any more single target healing. So I'm not sure what the whole purpose of this is, but again, Swiftmend, more healing, you're going to be using on targets that have more HOTS on them. With Verdant Infusion, you're going to extend it, and we'll talk about this when we'll go to Resto Druid. The 4-set bonus, Swiftmend heals 4 nearby allies for 25% of its healing done. I don't know what nearby counts, so we'll have to see the range. Is it going to be big? Is it going to be small? Again, this is passive healing that maybe in a raid situation where you have a lot of continuous AoE healing needed, this might provide good healing. I don't know. It really depends on, again, what is the radius of this. Is it going to be interesting in Mythic Plus and things like that? Probably not going to do a whole lot in Mythic Plus. The 2-set bonus seems to be pretty good. The 4-set bonus seems to be more along the lines of raid situations. Again, Nothing too crazy exciting. So like I mentioned, the 2-set bonus, if you are running Verdant Infusion, and again for the people who don't know Verdant Infusion, Swiftman no longer consumes a heal overtime effect, so you have more hunts. And again, this actually works really weirdly because you still need to have a hunt on a target to do this, even though it doesn't consume a hunt. But Verdant Infusion, and extends the duration of a heal overtime effects on the target by 10 seconds. There is a huge, I made a video about this in terms of how it can be worked with Scenario Ward. And now the 2-set bonus is going to make your Swiftman heal more based on how many hunts you have, or at least that's the initial expectation. So now your Swiftman is going to be really strong. But is that going to go into overhealing? Because if you are running Verdant Infusion, that means you need single target healing. And if you are running Verdant Infusion already, you already have that single target healing. So it's something to be, again, I'm not sure if it's an overkill set bonus if you're already running it. There's probably going to be more synergies out there. But at this point, Swiftman build, Verdant Infusion, direct synergies, let me know how you feel about this. The splash healing that 4-set provides, we'll have to see how big that is. Again, like I said, in Mythic Plus, I'm not sure, but in Razor might be more interesting. But again, I don't know. Pretty okay. Maybe could be better. We'll see. Let's go to Mistweaver Monk and look at the 2-set and 4-set bonus. The 2-set bonus, Essence Font, residual healing effect lasts an additional 2 seconds longer. Again, I don't think this is something insanely exciting. I'm not even sure how big of a HPS boost this is going to be, but again, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the tier sets could be really, really cool. When I looked at some of the DPS tier sets, they felt really engaging. I'm not sure if this is all that amazing at this given point, or it's going to... It's okay. The 4-set bonus, maybe 2-set bonuses are not supposed to be that exciting, but the 4-set bonus, drinking Thunder Focus Tea, summons a Progenitor Rune of Healing. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Again, it's really tired. Again, I'm really tired, really late. Increases all healing dealt while inside its bound. Don't look at the numbers. Doesn't matter. The number can change from like 5, 10, whatever. But what happens after you use Thunder Focus Tea? You're going to get a Rune of Healing. And honestly, let's go to Mistweaver just to showcase some of the problems with this. So the 2-set makes your Essence Font stronger. And the 4-set, after you use your Thunder Focus Tea, there's going to be some sort of rune. No idea how to test this in terms of like how big the rune is going to be, and you need to stand this rune to get extra healing or provide more healing. I hate it. I hate any, how do I say it? If this rune is going to be a tiny thing. Now, first of all, Blizzard has copied this from a bunch of trinkets. Like straight away, you can go to Halls of Atonement, for example, and look at loot, and then you'd be like, some blood trinket. Tears an animal from your target dealing certain amount of damage and forming a font of power at your feet, increasing your intellect while you stand with it. So this is basically what my expectation of this is. Use Thunder Focus Tea, get this kind of ring underneath you, stand in it, and provide more healing. Now, how big is this ring? Is this going to be a massive thing that you can stand in? I don't think they're going to make it that easy. I think they're going to make it, again, this is predictions, early predictions, field crafting. They're going to make a small little ring where you need to stand. And all of a sudden, if you're a Mistweaver, which you're probably going to be running Rising Mist because you want to provide additional damage, it's also going to heal through that by extending your hunts. What happens if a boss is here and the boss is being moved, and then let's say it spawns at your feet, which we still don't know. But let's say it spawns at your feet, the boss is being moved, and you have to stand here and you have to heal. You can't DPS, you can't do anything, you just have to stand here to provide additional healing. What about this situation in Mythic Plus where you're going from trash pack to trash pack? I feel like in Mythic Plus the 4-set is almost completely wasted because you can't really stand in one spot for too long. So I think the base idea of Mistweaver's 4-set bonus is not good, and it's going to defeat the purpose of being this mobile, like healer on the move type of healer when you have to stand in one spot to actually heal. I don't like it. I'm not sure how you feel about this. I feel there's a lot of issues with this, especially in Mythic Plus. I hope they're gonna change it. Now let's go to Priest, and first we're gonna look at Holy Priest and then Discipline Priest, and the overall impression of these tier sets feels a little bit, I don't know, maybe a little bit lazy, not crazy creative in my opinion. So Holy Priest. Now this is the one that, honestly, reading it can be interpreted so many different ways. So this is, I'm going to tell you the way I interpret it, and you're gonna let me know if it's the right way, because again, I'm basically reacting this the first time. So your holy words begins divine conversation. So, using your Holy Word Serenity or Sanctify, I'm assuming, after you press these abilities, increases the cooldown reduction of your next Holy Word affecting spell by 15 seconds. So I'm assuming if you press Holy Word Serenity, and then you cast something like Heal or Flash Heal, the cooldown reduction on Holy Word Serenity is going to be increased. This is my interpretation. Now, I might be wrong, I'm not sure, I can't test it at this given point. And then the 4 set, Divine Conversation, which is the 2 set, increases the effectiveness of your next Holy Word affecting spell by 35%. So I'm assuming you use Holy Word Serenity, a big single target heal, then you use Heal or Flash Heal. That heal or flash heal is going to be increased by a really large amount, 35%, and the cooldown reduction is going to be affected or implied to the Holy Word spell. Let's go to Priest. So this is my Holy Priest, and if I'm interpreting this right now, you'll be forced or you'll be using more of your Holy Word spells. Specifically your Holy Word Serenity, because I do still think people are going to be running Flash Concentration because it has become a staple of Holy Priest healing, unless it's going to be nerfed and all of a sudden it's going to be different. So your Holy Word Serenity is a big single target heal, and its cooldown is reduced by 6 seconds when you cast Heal or Flash Heal, which is directly related to your Flash Concentration Legendary. Now, this seems a little bit lazy because it seems to be a direct copy of, or very similar copy of Resonant Words, which basically does the same thing. Casting Holy Word spells increases the healing of your next Heal or Flash Heal. But with the tier set, you're also gonna get cooldown reduction. Now, where this cooldown reduction is going to be applied or how it's going to work, it's up to people to decide, because is it going to affect Holy Word Salvation? Is there going to be some kind of a double dip effect here happening with Holy Word Salvation? So this is something that I need to test on PTR to see the true potential of it, but the overall expectation of the whole idea is that it's a copy of a conduit to some extent. It does synergize with Flash Heal Legendary, if that's going to be a thing in 9.2. I don't know, maybe they're going to be nerfing it, but it is not super interesting. It doesn't really seem to impact the gameplay outside of just using more Holy Word spells, which is not a bad thing. So now let's go to the Discipline Priest, and Blizzard has kind of tried to look at the pain points of Disc and try to eliminate some of the negativity when playing Disc, and that is to do, look at 2 set. Casting Power Word Shield or Shadow Mend has a 15% chance to make your next cast of Shadow Mend have no cost, so no mana cost or cast time. So this is looking at the mana issues of Discipline Priests, because a lot of Discipline Priests who are running in raid situations, they kind of require Innovate to be really viable or really optimal in raid situations. And in Mythic Plus, you're picking up the, you need the mana, anima power. So this is looking at eliminating that. Again, the no cast time, so making Shadow Mend instant cast. For the people who know how GCD works, you'll know that even in instant cast abilities like Shadow Mend, that might become an instant cast ability, you still have that GCD global cooldown where you can't cast anything. You just get to that person first, so you might snipe them better. So it really depends. I'm not super excited about this, but I see where Blizzard is coming from. They're trying to eliminate the mana issues the Discipline Priest has. Maybe they should lower just the base mana cost of some of the abilities. The 4-set bonus Power of the Dark Side. For the people who don't know what Power of the Dark Side is, your Shadow World Pain or Purge the Wicked, depending on which talent you're using, has a chance to make your penance a lot stronger. So now Power of the Dark Side increases the effectiveness of penance. So you're now like, okay, so it's a random proc, but no. It increases penance by 45%, and it's triggered when Power Word Radiance is cast. Now this is something that I'm gonna need your help with, because a lot of the times Discipline Priests, especially Kirin Discipline Priests, they have a set rotation for ramping, mini ramps, big ramps. And a lot of the times they're putting out atonements out. As many atonements as they can, whether it's going to be through Rapture or some other means. And then they're following up with Radiance, Evangelism. So now, are you going to be using Radiance, then Penance, because your Penance is buffed, then Radiance again? Or what is going to be the rotation for Kirin? Maybe there's going to be a new rotation for different covenants. Maybe people are going to be swapping away from Boon of Descendant. This is something that I actually need more clarification on, because I'm not quite sure. My initial reaction is that, is it making Discipline Ramp a bit more clunkier, or am I misreading this? At one side, it's making Penance a lot stronger, which is what a lot of Discipline Priests ask for a very, very long time. They ask for a stronger Penance, they ask for, again, a better mana efficiency. And this is what Blizzard is bringing. Am I being a negative Nancy here, complaining about this? So this is something that I genuinely want to know more about, because is there going to be a new covenant? How do you feel about this Mini Priest tier set? Let me know in the comments below. So let's go to the summary of the video. So we've seen every single healer tier set, and again, some of them feel a lot better than others, but there's a lot of ifs. How do they work? Are they going to be proc? What's the proc chance? What's the healing like? It is relatively hard to predict at this given moment because there's so many changes. There's going to be so many changes before they're going to be released. A lot of the numbers are going to be tuned. Maybe some of the tier sets are going to be completely removed. At the moment, from my reading, I see Holy Paladin want to be really fun, really kind of overpowered, depending on how it's going to work, but I can definitely see different interactions. I can definitely see different synergies with different covenants. A lot of the other legendaries or tier sets that we've seen so far, and the synergy with legendaries is relatively hard to predict at this given moment because there's so many moving parts. We still don't know, like, some of the wording is really weird, and you can't really make a proper prediction right now, or field crafting prediction. My honest opinion, because I play Resto Shaman, I'm relatively disappointed with tier set. I honestly feel that the tier set for Resto Shaman feels the most awkward or the weirdest one. I know people are gonna disagree with me, but I genuinely don't like the Spirit Link 4 set bonus at all. I think a lot of the other healer tier sets are okay. They're not insanely interesting. I feel that the DPS tier sets that I've read so far, even the tanking tier sets, some of them feel a lot more interesting. I feel like there was more thought given to them. Maybe, I'm not sure, maybe I'm just like being paranoid or something, but I was kind of expecting a little more out of the tier sets for a lot of the healing specs. And we'll have to see how Blizzard is going to approach player feedback. We'll see if any of them are going to change, because I do feel some of them are just outright need changes right now, and some of them are just okay. And then, you know, you have a Paladin one and you're like, wow. Let me know how you feel about this video. This is a really long one. I'm really tired. I probably missed out on a lot of the things. This is like my first reaction to these sets. So I probably will make more videos in the following weeks talking about each individual set, talking about how they work and whether they're fun or not. Let me know, and I'll see you in my next video.